Hey friends, it's Len here from 1A Auto. Today we have a first generation Volkswagen Passat in the studio. We want to go over some of the top problems that we've come to find, so let's get started. Alright, for our first problem on this, of course we're going to talk about a safety issue. For this one, it comes down to the ABS module. Now for this particular issue, what you're probably going to find for a symptom is your brakes seem like they act a little bit funny. Generally on most modern vehicles, you're going to find that you have very stable, solid feeling braking. Typically even on slippery surfaces, you're still going to be able to brake very well. Unfortunately, if you're having an issue with the ABS module, you might not notice that you're having such a nice time in these type of situations. The reason for that is because the ABS module is supposed to be able to control each brake individually to help prevent slipping and help increase gripping. Typically, if you're having an issue with the module and it's not functioning properly, how's it going to be able to do any of this? Something else that you might happen to find for a symptom would be an ABS light on the dash and probably even a traction light. So like I said, the cause for this issue, where you're either having an issue while braking or the light's on the dash, comes down to the ABS control module. Typically, that's going to be located underneath the hood, and generally, when you have this issue, you have to just go ahead and replace that module. Now for our second problem on this car, we're going to talk about a strange odor coming from your HVAC system. What I mean by HVAC is heater, ventilation, AC, essentially your climate control of your vehicle. Essentially what happens with this is as you're running your AC system or your HVAC system, it can build up a little bit of condensation, and it's generally going to be inside this area down here where your heater core box is. Essentially, there's going to be condensation that gets built up inside there. As the condensation gets built up, it's supposed to come down and out through a drain, which leads out underneath your car. For some reason, on a lot of these models, they kind of get a little bit plugged up with things, or even just moisture gets stuck inside there. As you can imagine, anytime that moisture is sitting still for a very long period of time, or even a short period of time sometimes, it starts to actually build up bacteria, and the bacteria starts to smell. As that bacteria is getting kind of pushed around inside your system when you turn on your blower motor, all that odor is going to make its way out any way it can. Typically what you would want to do to fix this though, is you'd want to make sure that there isn't any condensation getting built up inside that box anymore. Typically if you get underneath your car, you're going to find like this little hose that kind of comes out inside the passenger compartment, and it's essentially going to be kind of into your body of the car. You want to blow a little bit of air up inside that hose and just make sure that it's not plugged up inside. What you might happen to find is after you blow a little bit of air, there's going to be a lot of other stuff that comes out, and that's a good sign. That means that you just unplugged whatever was going on. After that, it should continuously drip out, but essentially what you're going to want to do at this point is to just add a little bit of odor eliminator. Typically, once this is drained out, you can just add odor eliminator into all of your vents that go across your dash, of course up along the top there, and any other places that you can think of, especially inside your cabin air filter housing. Once you spray it inside there, go ahead and replace that cabin air filter as well, and then you should be good to go. Now for problem number 3 on this car, we're going to get out so I can walk around a little bit and stretch my legs. We're going to talk about an engine misfire. Symptoms for this, you might happen to notice a check engine light on your dash. Essentially, if you were to grab a little scanner and pull that code, you'd probably see a code that comes up P0300, which would essentially mean like a random cylinder misfire, or even a more specific code such as a P0301. As those codes get more specific, the 301 stands for cylinder 1, and then it would, of course, continue on to the multiple cylinders that you have. Another symptom that you might happen to notice for this might be a shaky feeling engine. Essentially what I mean by this is you're sitting in your driveway, a parking lot, a red light, whatever you've got, and it feels as though your car is just kind of shaking around a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Maybe you happen to get out of the car, you pop the hood, and you look at the engine, and it's shifting around like this. It really doesn't seem like it's running very smooth. Typically, engines are going to have a little bit of movement as they're running, but it shouldn't have a lot of movement. Now, if we were going to talk about fixes for this, typically what I would want to do is to make sure I know what code that I have originally. If it says P0301, then I know that I have an issue on cylinder 1. Typically, what I would like to do at that point would be switch the parts from cylinder 1 to cylinder 2, and what I mean by that is the spark plug and the coil. Essentially, the reason why I would be wanting to do that is to make sure that those parts specifically aren't actually the issue. If I did happen to move them to cylinder 2, and then I found that the code or the problem seemed to persist, and it actually transferred to cylinder 2, well then that tells me that I have an issue with either the spark plug or even that coil. Volkswagen actually put out a TSB on this, or a technical support bulletin. Essentially what it's saying is that if your code is specific, like a P0301 or the like, and you have a code P1250, which essentially tells you that you have a low fuel level. Essentially what that's actually coming down to is you're driving your car around with too low of a fuel level, and it's actually causing this misfire, or at least as far as the car is concerned. So typically what you would want to do is go ahead and fill up that fuel tank, and after you've done that, I would go ahead and clear the code and then take it for a road test. Now for problem number 4 on this, we're going to talk about poor visibility. What I mean by that is for such a wide-bodied car, you come to find out that they have really small passenger mirrors. Essentially, when you're driving a big old car like this, you want to be able to see nice and clear what's going on behind you every time it comes time to back up. The mirrors inside this thing, a little small, a little inadequate. And speaking of small mirrors, we also have very small glass panels in this, or essentially your windows. The reason for that is generally because of the size of these columns. They're just huge. It's probably due to safety. They try to make it as safe as possible, but especially if you're looking behind you on the right rear, you're going to notice that that corner is pretty much completely blocked out by the actual columns that are back there. Essentially, if you can't see behind you when you're trying to back up, how safe are you really going to be? Now, if we're going to talk about fixes on this, I mean, what are you really going to do about the size of the windows and the size of these columns? Not much, really. But there are a couple things that you could try to think of. Maybe you could try to upgrade your mirrors, generally your rear view mirror. You're going to be able to get a nice upgraded sized one that's going to be able to show much more of what's going on behind you. You might also be able to upgrade your outside mirrors, maybe even put on some of those attachments that just kind of come out a little further, or even one of the little convex little bubbles there that'll kind of just show you a lot more of what's going on. And of course, if you're apt, you can go ahead and get yourself a backup camera, and then you'll definitely be able to see what's going on back there. Now for problem number 5 on this, we're going to talk about an issue with the message center first. Right up in front of you on the nice dash cluster here, you might happen to see that it tells you that you have a bulb out someplace. You go ahead and you go check all the bulbs that are going on. Everything works perfectly. You double check it, still works perfectly. Have another guy check it, yep, still works. Up in here though, it's telling you there's an issue. Something else that you might happen to notice is a radio system lockout. Essentially what I mean by that is, well, just nothing seems to work. This one actually works perfectly, so it's really not the best for showing you what's going on. But essentially you try to use your stereo and it keeps telling you that you're locked out and it doesn't want you to get in there. Essentially what this is going to come down to is a software update. Typically with these cars, they come down to having a little bit of a software glitch, which is very common, especially where these are fairly new. And essentially Volkswagen has an updated software for this. You go ahead and you put that in, and next thing you know, you really don't have this issue anymore. Okay friends, so that's pretty much what I've got for you on this Generation 1 Volkswagen Passat. Of course, every vehicle has its problems. Maybe you've got one of these cars and you've got problems of your own, or maybe you just got something to say. If you do, you want to talk about it, leave it in the comment section below, because I always love to hear from you. If you like the video, smash on that like button for me and mean the world. While you're at it, go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell. That way there you can be kept up with all of our latest content. Thanks.